Hello everyone, welcome to Ebasiq Tutorials. I'm Chandra Girish and you are watching episode 2 of our Django series. So in this episode, we will discuss how to set up the Django project. Okay, so if you see the presentation, here I have listed down the steps, 10 steps, by which we can create some basic Django project. So first step is to create the project folder on your desktop or some location. And it is recommended to create a virtual environment so that we can create different projects in different virtual environments and run accordingly. Okay, so first we have to create a project folder and then virtual environment. And then we have to, on top of that, we have to install Django. So before coming to steps on step 1, step 2, we have to make sure Python is already installed because Django works on top of Python. And step 3, then you have to create the Django project. Okay. And then once the project is created, you have to run the initial server to test. Okay, that URL we can run in the browser. And after that, we can create our web applications. So like now here we can create a blog web application. So that is under step 5. Okay, so that we call it as a Django app. Now after that, we have to do some registrations of the web application in the project settings of the main project. So I'm calling the main project as mysite and the web app as a blog here in this case. Now create some views in the blog under views.py file. And in step 8, we have to create a url.py file inside the blog and then connect the blog URL to the project URL and run the server again. I'll show the every step practically how it looks. Okay. So once the project is created by site, let's say the project name is by site. So the folder structure initially looks like this. Okay, so there are different files are there. For now, don't worry about this. So in the subsequent episodes, I'll explain in detail about all these files. Okay, and then you can, when you create the Django app, web app, that folder structure will look like this. So admin apps.py, models.py, test.py, urls.py, views.py, like that. You can see the blog app, Django app folder structure like this. Okay, so how project and app connect, so that these steps I will explain. We'll see, then I'll come to here. Once again, you can understand. Okay, so these are the basic steps that you need to follow, but I'll show you how to create that. Now, as I said, first step is create a folder. So if you see the screen, I have already created a folder on my desktop. You can see I created a folder called Django Project. So once the folder is created, then what you have to do, you have to create the virtual environment. Okay, so for that, what you have to do, so you have to type Python space -m space virtual environment, that is VENV, and we can use the same name. Okay, so if you see the screen here, so Python -m, sorry, -m when VENV virtual environment and then VENV. Okay. So now I'm creating the virtual environment. So once we create this, it will create a folder named virtual environment containing the Python libraries and other binary files will be there. Okay, so just type this and type enter. So now it will create a environment for us. Taking time. Okay. So the environment is created. Now what you have to do? So the virtual environment is created, but now what you have to do? You have to activate the virtual environment. So for that, go to the so if you see this folder, it is an empty folder, but virtual environment is created. Okay. Now go to virtual environment folder, and inside that you have a script folders. So go under this. So say just type cd underscore scripts. Now you have to activate the virtual environment, because inside this there is a exe file which will activate the virtual environment. Now once you click or type the activate, so if you see the prompt, it has changed virtual environment, and you can see scripts project like that. So now go back to main project folder. So Django project. Okay, now what you will do? The next step is to create the. So before that, we have to install the Django framework. So to install the Django framework, what you have to do? Pip install Django. Okay, just type that, so that will install the Django in your system. Just wait for a few minutes, then it will install the Django in your system. Okay, now Django is installed. So to check the installation, what you have to do? Type Django-admin -admin hyper version. Okay. Now it will show the version which is, oh, sorry, I typed the admin. Now it will show the, one second, I typed the wrong. So admin, okay, admin hyper version. Now it will display the version which is installed, that is 5.2.4. Okay, so now we got the confirmation and we got the output. Now next step is to create a new Django project. So for that, we have to use. Now if you see the directory structure, what don't have anything, only virtual environment is there. That's it. Now what you have to do, uh, start project, and you have to create a new Django project. Okay. So what you have to do, type Django-admin space, and then uh, say start project. And I want to create a mysite project. So mysite and space and give a dot, so that it will uh, tell the Django to create the project in the current directory. Okay. So means where are we? We are in the folder Django project folder. So it will create this mysite under this folder. Okay, Django-admin space start project space mysite space dot. Okay, so type it and enter. Now it will create a Django project. Okay, so now it is created. If you see the directory, Now you have a mysite and then you have a manage.py file. So if you see if you go inside the mysite and if you list out the see, you have different files. So asgi.py, settings.py, urls.py, wsgi.py. So like that, we have different files are there. So it is created. This is the folder structure. Okay. So generally, manage.py, which is actually utility file for running the commands. Like we can start the server, we can do the migrations like that. And the settings.py file. So this is actually all our project configurations will be saved there. And urls.py file, which defines the app routes, all the URLs will be there. And AS, and you can see wsgi.py file and asgi.py file. These all are deployment interface files that we will see later. Okay, now the next step is we have successfully created the Django project. Now we have to run the server, start the server. So run the development server. So what we have to do? So now type Python. So now you have to go above mysite. Okay. So now you should be in the Django project in this folder. Now type Python. And then you have to use manage.py. Okay. And then run server. Okay. So Python space manage.py run server. Now what happens? Whatever the Django project that you have installed, it will run in the local server. And we have to use that URL to see the site. Now this site is web server started. Now the site is running. Now if you want to see this, what you have to do, just copy this URL and I just pasted this here in the web browser. Okay. So it is showing the install worked successfully. So congratulations. Like that, it is displaying the message. This is the development server. Okay. So this is the project. Now what we have to do, we have to create the different applications. Okay. So what we'll do, our next step, you can keep like this and you have created earlier the folder, right? So you can once again open one more command prompt. Okay, so like this, you can open one more command prompt and the next step is to you can create your first application, that is web application. So as we know, Django project is made up of different applications and which are modular. There will be modular components that do one thing well. Okay. So for that, what we will do, first we create an application here. So for that, the same thing. What I have to do, I have to type Python manage.py and then start app and then the name of the application. So I say blog. Okay, so Python space manage.py start app space blog. So make sure you are in the top folder. Okay, this folder, and then just press enter. This will create the project application. Okay, sorry. So one mistake I've done. What you have to do, you have to first go to the virtual server. Okay. So change directory, virtual environment. Okay. So I said scripts. Okay. And then activate. Okay. And then once again, go back. You have to make sure you are in the virtual environment because Django is not finding, right? So now it will find the Django, and you can use the same command here. So what I'll do, I'll paste it here, and then now I'll say Python space manage.py space start block. Now, if you see the directory, that blog folder is one more blog folder is created. Okay. So this blog is nothing but it is a project. If you see this is the project, means web application. So if you see inside this, you can see different files, admin.py, apps.py, migrations model.py, test.py, like that you can see. Okay. So now the next step is we have created the first app, that is blog app, in the Django project. Okay. Now we have to register our project, register our app in the project settings. Okay, so for that, what we have to do, settings.py file, in the mysite project structure, settings.py file will be there. Okay, so what I will do, I'll open that mysite settings.py file. In any editor you can open. If you have a Visual Studio code, you can open in that. Or even simply you can open in the Jupyter Lab also, that is also, it will work. Okay, now I'm opening in a Visual Studio code, I'll share that. So if you see, okay, now we have a settings.py, which is under my site. Okay. So if you see the path Django, my underscore Django underscore project, my site, and then settings.py file. So inside that, what you have to do, you have to simply say blog, that's it, and say and give the comma. Okay. So now with this under installed underscore apps, we have to give blog like that. Okay. So that is our new app. Okay. And save it. Now what you can do, you can go to here. If you want to make a view, create some views and see that in your app, okay, app project, you have to update. I mean, you can actually by default Django loads the project level URL configuration. That is my site urls.py file. So under that, whatever it is there, by default it is loaded. So if you want to load the page from your blog, that is app by default, okay, so we have to write some small simple view. So what I will do, so inside the blog, we have a views.py file. Okay, so go to blog and then open the views.py file, which I am opening now in the Visual Studio Code. Okay, so if you see this, I have a views.py file. For now, nothing, no code is there. So what I will do, I'll write a simple function here. Okay. So I say Django dot HTTP input HTTP response and definition that function home request, and I'm responding the message like welcome to blog app. So whenever the blog app we run, so by default, this review will be returned, means this message will be returned. Okay, so I have created the view. Now what I have to do, next step. Now we have to create a urls.py file inside the blog. Okay, so this we have to create manually because it will add the path. Otherwise, it will not recognize the path. So what we have to do, now go back, create a urls.py file. So create Python file. What you can do, you can copy mysite urls.py file and paste it in the blog. Okay. Now open that in your Visual Studio. Okay, I'm opening that. It will open now. So I'll just remove everything here. The previous file we have created. Now what we have to do, I just add this script here. Okay, so from django.urls, import path from dot imports views, and then I have added this URL pattern. Okay, now this will be recognized. So now after that, what we have to do? So this URLs we have to include in the mysite urls.py, the blog app URL. Like this, we have to connect our application. So now what you do? Open the mysite urls.py file. Open the mysite urls.py. So if you see in this is there. Now under URL patterns, what we have to do? We have to add the path. So sets blog name.home as root page. Okay, so like this, you have to add path include blogs dot. So now you have to add the include also. Okay, so like this. Now it is included. Now the next final step is you have to run the project. Here in this case, what you have to do? Because I have already opened that in a separate page here, so it will be automatically refreshed. It will be reloaded whenever you enter that. Now go to here and just refresh it. Now by default, whatever the views we have updated, that is running. So here in this case, we have created a code views.py, right? So we said, welcome to the blog app. Now the same thing, it has refreshed and it is added. Earlier project, default project has been opened, but now the default app is opened here. Okay. So like this, we have to execute the simple Python project with these simple steps. Now, if you see once again, so we have created the folder, environment setup we have done, and installed the Django and created the project, and initially we tested. Later we created the Django app called blog, and then we have registered the blog app inside the settings of mysite, and then we wrote some code inside the blog, and we have created the urls.py inside the blog, and that urls.py we have connected the blog URLs to the project URL, and we have run the server again. So the last this step, ninth step is this one actually. Okay, it is just like both installed apps. While registering under installed apps, we have listed out the blog that I have showed. After that, blocks.url we have included in the urls.py file. Okay. So where we have included, so if you see, so here like this we have included. Okay. And then that's it. So for project plus app integration flow, first user request, then mysites.url it will check, and then you will rewrite to blocks url.py, and then block views.py. It will run the view, and then it will respond the whatever it is defined inside the view. If we have any files, script, I mean front end UI redirection is there, that also will respond to us. So like that, this is the entire flow, initial Django project setup, and uh, you can simply create structure like this. So that's it in this video. We will in this episode series. So we will see more in the next coming episodes of the Django series. Okay. So that's it. Thank you. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to your friends. Thank you.